Hey folks, this is Vint with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly talk about Medieval Dynasty. This is a game that you can find on Steam's Early Access program for about $30. And I stress Early Access. That means the game is still under development, and as such, everything that you're about to see here is subject to change, including the tips that I'm about to give you. Speaking of which, this video is just going to be a quick tip list of things that helped me out in the early game. I've got about 18, 19 hours under my belt, and it would have been nice knowing these things going in. But, hey, you may already know them, but for those of you that are new to the game and are having trouble figuring things out, this may help you survive until that next day. So let's just jump right into it. The first thing I want to talk about is, as soon as you spawn, you're not going to know where to go, what to do. Okay? Or how to make money, for that matter. Food and money. That's what you need. That's generally what you need right now. So the first thing that you want to do is pick up a lot of sticks and a lot of rocks. You can find these rocks and sticks all over the place. Sticks are generally more apparent and they're all over the place compared to rocks. Rocks are generally found more in the forest areas, less so near town, but you can still find some clusters of rocks. But using those two things, you're going to craft tools. Tools. Craft axes, whatever, knives, and then go to the vendor and sell them. That's how you're going to make your money early game, at least in the very first season that you're playing this game. And then using that money, you're going to want to buy flatbread. Flatbread, out of all the food, is going to give you the most bang for your buck. Every food has a nutritional value. Like, this food might cost 20 gold pieces and give you 20 nutrition, where this one might cost 10 gold and give you 30 nutrition. So why wouldn't you take the cheaper food that gives you more nutrition? Well, flatbread, based on what I've seen, is the best that you're going to get in the town that you start next to. So, again, tip number one, sell tools, buy flatbread. That's going to get you through for a little while anyway. The second tip I want to give you, berries. Now, the unripe berries that grow in the very first season, spring, are not going to give you a whole lot of money. You can still try and sell them. I don't know if they sell for a great price or not, but you can't eat them, so don't even try. My advice is, during the summertime, wait for summer, and then regular berries will pop up all over the place. You can pick those, 3 or 4 berries a pop, and then they sell for 1 gold a piece. Now, that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but let's say you go out and you pick. You've got 300 berries in your inventory. You go and sell that. That's 300 gold. That would be equivalent to, say, I want to say 10 axes that you could be crafting. You have to find the rocks, find the sticks, craft them. Picking berries is much easier, just more monotonous and time-consuming. So, during the summertime, pick berries and sell them. Get a lot of money that way. So, between those spring and summer, crafting tools, picking berries, that will get you through a lot of hardship in terms of money. And again, buy that flatbread. So that was tips 1 and 2. Sell tools, buy flatbread, and then tip number 2, berries. You want to pick berries during the summer and sell that. All right. Number 3, aiming for the head. Okay, so when you're hunting, all you've got is a rinky-dink bundle of spears. And make sure you craft a ton of spears, not just 1 or 2. They are extremely flimsy and will break at the drop of a hat. So when I go hunting, I like to bring 7, 8 spears with me in case I throw and miss and need some more backup. You can pick up spears that miss, but again, they have durability and very limited one at that, so they'll break often. When it comes to deer, they typically take 2 or 3 body shots before they go down, whereas if you hit them in the head, it's usually an insta-kill. Bears and wisents, they're harder, but again, you can take them down in 2 headshots. I've taken a wisent down in 2 headshots, a bear in 2 headshots. Pretty easy to do if you just go in front of them, but not directly in front of them. Get line of sight directly in front of their head and just start wailing and hit their head with those spears, and they'll go down pretty quickly. The hardest animal in this game are the wolves, because they're smaller, they're faster, and, I mean, they still take some doing to take down. Now, if you happen to run out of spears while you're fighting, you can switch to your axe that you chop wood with, or trees down with, and you can do combat with that, but it's a little flaky. My advice is also, make sure you're picking, there are plants that you can pick that will heal you. They give you 10 heal. It's not the St. John's wort. I'm drawing a blank on the name of it right now. But there is a plant that you can pick that will give you 10 health instantly for consuming it. So my advice is go ahead and buy or just go ahead and pick 10 or 15 of them. That way, when you're in combat, you can just tab real quick or hit tab, go to your inventory, and just munch down a whole bunch of those, and it's insta heal. It's kind of cheap. It really is. But yeah, I mean, you can do that if you want to. So my advice is bring lots of spears and lots of that herbal plant that I was talking about. Broadleaf plantain, that's it. I had to pause the recording and look that up. Broadleaf plantain. Take 10 or so with you. You'll thank me later. All right, moving on to the next quick tip. I believe that was tip number 4, quests. Now, you don't have to do quests in this game, but there are primary quests that you'll want to do to increase your dynasty points drastically. And the more dynasty points you have, the greater you can grow your town whenever you're ready to build one. So yeah, just do side quests, main quests as you see fit, but do not take quests at the end of the season, at least the side quests. Reason being, at the end of a season, every 3 days is a season, everything resets, including your health bar, your food, your water, everything, and including any quests, so at least side quests. So you actually automatically fail quests at the end of every season. So don't take side quests at the end of a season if you can't complete it in time. You'll get -1 or 2 dynasty reputation, whatever it is. So quick tip, don't take quests at the end of a season, and do them when you can. That way you can increase your dynasty points and get some nice bonuses to boot. All right, step number 6, or quick tip number 6, scope an area out before building. As far as a town goes, you're going to want nice open land, and you want to pick a spot that isn't near wolves or any other dangerous wildlife. Also pick a spot that's near water. That way you can drink water whenever you need to. There are plenty of spots to do this. I actually picked a spot that I kind of regret, but don't. There's open land without any trees, or at least very few trees. That's a good ideal spot. The downside is that you have to cut down, you're going to need a lot of logs in this game. Cut down a lot of trees, need to haul a lot of logs, which are heavy. That's going to take a lot of time to do. So if you pick open land, you're going to have to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth between the forest and the open land that you're building your base in, and it's going to take time to do that. I, on the other hand, sort of built my village near water in the forest, so that all I had to do was cut down trees. I had to clear land in order to put buildings down. The land was not clear, nor is it very flat. But I can still get by with the buildings that I have, and if I need wood, it's right there. The downside is clearing the land can be a pain in the butt. But it's resources I need anyway, so I might as well do it. So it's up to you, but my advice is if you're going to, before you build anything, houses, whatever, scope out the land, find flat land, possibly near some trees and near water, and away from any dangerous animals. Tip number 7, reed. You're going to need tons of reed in order to build these buildings. Reed is typically found near water. It's like little yellow patches. So it's kind of difficult to find, but there's if you travel along a major riverbank, you'll eventually come across a huge patch of this yellow wheat sticking out of the ground, and that reed turns into straw. So if you need straw for your structures, get reed by the riverside. Tip number 8, eating. Cooking is way better than roasting meat. Roasting meat that you find by hunting animals, that's like 5 nutrition a pop. So you need 10 will get you 50. So you need to eat 20 roasted meat to fill up from 0 to 100 in terms of hunger. It's better to use that roasted meat in conjunction with vegetables that you're growing in order to create, better products. Now, you're not going to have that early game, at least as soon as you start out. You're not going to have carrots, you're not going to have onions, you're not going to have cabbage. Those are the 3 things you want to grow. So if you're going to farm carrots, onions, and cabbage. Those things will allow you to use the meat that you're collecting. You can combine those vegetables with the meat that you're collecting, and you can cook better meals. So don't worry about the wheat or the rye, in my opinion. That's okay. You can make gruel out of that. But if you want like stew, pottage, as it's called, those will give you 25, 30, 35 nutrition a pop. So farm the vegetables, onions, carrots, cabbage, and then in conjunction with roasted meat and regular raw meat, cook those meals, and you'll get more mileage out of that. But if you have to eat roasted meat and you have no other choice, fine. But again, the flatbread, I think, is a better option. I think the flatbread gives you like 30, 35 nutrition. And again, it's easily buyable. And if you're selling a bunch of materials and St. John wort and berries and tools anyway, then you'll be able to afford that flatbread, no problem. Tip number 9. Once you get a village going, but you don't have anyone in there yet, you're going to want to think about a food storage and a resource storage. Those are the 2 buildings that you absolutely must have if you're going to invite people to your town to stay. You need a food storage because people need to take food from somewhere, and they're programmed to take it from the food storage. Not the tavern, the food storage. You have to put it in the food storage chest. They will take from there. So before you bring anyone to town, make sure you've got a food storage building and food in that chest. Also, likewise, they're going to need firewood or regular wood for the wintertime. Firewood can be crafted from regular logs, and you get more mileage out of your firewood. 1 log is equal to 4 firewood. So when you build your resource storage, which you absolutely must have, put the firewood in the resource storage chest. That way people can draw from it, and they won't get mad and leave your village. So before you go inviting people and assigning them jobs and planning everything out, make sure you've got your food storage and make sure you've got your regular resource storage, and you've got them stocked with both food and firewood accordingly. The last tip I want to give you, actually I'll give you a bonus one after that, but the last tip I kind of want to give you, there's no penalty for staying up late in this game as far as I can tell, aside from the fact that you need to eat more food and there's no health regeneration. But health regeneration is so easy. Because again, you've got that herb that will just heal you for 10 automatically. So there's no reason to sleep in this game. You can stay up the entire night. There's no penalty. There's no fatigue. So just keep staying up, working, unless you really need to sleep and regenerate health. But honestly, I haven't had a need to ever sleep in this game. Lastly, I don't know what that chuckle was upstairs. Traps. Traps in this game, I think, are one of the first things you want to unlock via your technology. You automatically get rabbit traps in the beginning. You can craft those with just sticks, I think. But the bird traps are something that you're going to want to unlock with your technology when you can. I think it's under the survival technology tree. Bird traps will give you feather and meat, and feather is used to craft arrows at some point. You can also get feather by chopping down trees and getting feather that way. Feather just automatically drops from trees whenever you cut a tree down. So if you haven't invested in traps, try and do so as soon as you can. It's just free resources. You might as well grab them while you can. So there you go, a quick top 10-ish list of survival tactics for your early game in Medieval Dynasty. Hopefully these help you out. Yes, there are more tips. Like, there are plenty of towns out there, various NPCs selling different things. And because this is early access, I mean, I guess I could go around and make a list of a database of who has what. But this is early access. This is an alpha build, so that may change over time. And I don't want to do all that work and then have it go all to waste. But these are for sure 10-ish ways to stay alive in the early game of Medieval Dynasty. Hopefully this helped you out. If you guys haven't already, subscribed to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I happen to publish. This is Vince, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.